All right, good morning. It's great to be here, see everybody. Today we're here to announce the largest ever, really the first of its kind, sweeping takedown of unlawful casino gambling operations. Joining me this morning, we've got two of our great sheriffs, Wayne Ivey and Sheriff Chitwood out of Volusia County. We also have Florida Gaming Control Commission Chair Julie Brown. We have our new Executive Director of the Gaming Commission, Alana Zimmer. We also have Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Chief of Homeland Security, Mike Schell, and Titusville Police Chief John Lau. This morning we're here to announce about 40 unlawful gambling operations were taken down in the last few days as part of a widespread sting, taking down locations in Volusia, Brevard, Duval, and Flagler counties. About 40 locations, as I said. Right now we're at 525 machines, almost 200,000 in cash seized, and that number is only going up as these collections continue. This isn't just bingo or Uno at the dining room table. As you can see behind me, you've got sophisticated machinery, large devices. We've got two warehouses here, stuff from floor to ceiling with these big casino games. If you're out there and you want to go gamble and you think, oh, wow, it's in a nail salon, that's probably too good to be true. It is too good to be true. These are unlawful sites. They not only suck revenue out of our economy, away from our state, but they also facilitate more serious crimes. So people at home, we've had some judges out there, they think that this unlawful gambling is not a big deal, it's not worth their time, but I'm here to tell you it is dangerous, it is violent. You almost always see connections to money laundering, to human and drug trafficking, to burglary, drugs, weapons. It is serious. And here in Florida, it is going to stop. Rule of law is not just a slogan here, it is a commitment. So yeah, we're going to take down child predators. Yes, we're going to take down drug traffickers. We're going to take down criminal aliens. And we're going to take down unlawful gambling operations. The game is over. I want to thank the interagency partners for being here. That's why we're so effective here in Florida. Our sheriffs, our police chiefs, our federal partners, our Gaming Control Commission, which is still kind of in its infancy. When we negotiated the Seminole Gaming Compact and the legislature ratified it several years ago, the Gaming Control Commission was a great thing to come out of that deal. It's a new entity that's going to have more independence, that's going to focus on unlawful gaming. You've got a great gaming, law enforcement division. I want to thank Carl Harold, who's the director of that. And they're on this all day, every day. They understand the dangers associated with unlawful gaming, and they're going to take them down one by one by one. This is just the beginning. Over 2026 and beyond, you're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to be spanning all over the state. It's not just isolated to this region, and we know that. So if you are operating one of these facilities or you're thinking about operating one, this is your warning. Don't roll the dice. Don't test your luck. Do not bet against the house on this one, I promise you. It is not going to work out well for you. Part of why this has been rampant over the years is the penalties are too low. It's been just a misdemeanor for operating one of these. Now, we usually get people on the bigger crimes, as I mentioned, so we're going to put you away for as long as possible. But when you're operating one of these facilities, a basic misdemeanor is not enough. So we've been calling on the legislature to heighten the penalties. They're working on some bills right now. I'm optimistic that you will have felonies for people that want to engage in this behavior. The risk is not going to be worth the reward. If you want to go out and game, there are lawful ways to do it in Florida. If you want a sports bet, there's one, online, the Hard Rock application. It is lawful. That was part of this deal with the state. It brings in billions and billions for the state that's going to go towards education and the environment. Our partnership with the Seminole tribe and that compact is wonderful. It's transparent. It's regulated. We know there's no shady business. There's no trafficking. There's no drugs. It's all highlighted. It is regulated. It is safe. that is where you should go. In-person gaming, you've got several, Seminole reservations. I think the big Hard Rock Guitar and Hotel, you can't really miss it down there in Brevard County. There's several licensed pari-mutuel facilities, again, regulated by the state, transparent, safe, following the law. Go to those locations. Again, stay away from this stuff. This is illegal. It's going to get you in trouble. So I'll conclude again by saying working with law enforcement every single day is the best part of this job. It's an honor for me. I get to come up here and highlight a lot of their great work, but they're doing the job. Sheriff's deputies, the police chief and his team, the gaming control enforcement officers, they put their lives on the line. They go into some dangerous and hostile territories. I heard we did have some illegal aliens associated with some of these operations. They do God's work. They fight for our families. I'm happy to fight for them. So with that, I will turn it over to the, I wish I could call him the best looking sheriff in Florida, but he certainly got the best sense of humor. Sheriff Ivey.
He will tell us he's the best looking, General.
I am the only sheriff here with both my hands working today. So good morning, everybody. I'm gonna touch base. I've got some prepared remarks about an hour long, and then I think Sheriff Chitwood's got about 30 minutes worth. But I want to touch on the cooperation, and first call out is to our Attorney General, who has made protecting our citizens here in the state of Florida his mission, and not just as the Attorney General, but as his time with as Chief of Staff for the Governor. He was focused on getting the right laws in place, getting us the resources that we needed, and he continues to do that as our Attorney General, making sure that Florida is not only leading the country, but is setting the bar for the rest of the country to follow. So first call out to him. Secondly is to the partnership that we have with the Gaming Commission. Carl Azam and his team have just been phenomenal for us in working these. And these are not easy cases to work. These, you see the volume of evidence that has been seized in these. The team has to go through quite a process to be able to get to that point where we're not only making arrests and seizing property and money and everything else, but they're having to put in quite a bit of investigative time. And the general said it best. This is against the law. All right, it's not up for debate. It's not about whether there's other crimes or anything. We work all of those crimes. Every crime that's on the books, we are going to work, we are going to enforce, and we are going to arrest the perpetrators that break that law. So when you look at this against the law, the money laundering that goes into it, the volume of people that are being impacted. I have people that tell me their parents, their grandparents are going into these places and losing all their money, their life savings and everything else, because they're being led to believe that there's a bright hope at the end of this. Well, there's not. And when you look at the impact across the board, from those that are involved in it illegally to the money being used for other criminal activity, that's why we enforce this. So we are going to stay the course. We're working together. This was a joint operation between not only the Gaming Commission, Attorney General, our agency, Titusville Police Department, Volusia County Sheriff's Office, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, all inclusive. Flagler County was involved in this, all inclusive across the board. And it's a great team effort, but it's also a great team result. And I think that's what's important here, is that we are going, in the state of Florida, we are going to enforce the law. And the rest of the states are scratching their head trying to figure out why their crime rates are through the roof. It's because they turn a blind eye to certain crimes and don't really focus on the other crimes. In Florida, we will put your ass in jail for anything you do. If you spit on that sidewalk, we're going to lock you up, especially here in Brevard County.
Attorney General, Gambling Commission, we thank you for being the tip of the spear on this, what's going on in our communities. Let me say this. If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it swims like a duck, it's a duck. What we're seeing here is illegal gambling and everything that the Attorney General talked about. It's not regulated. They're shipping money out of this country by the millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars. They're funneling terrorism, human trafficking, and drug smuggling. Just in Volusia County alone, on February 2nd, as part of an investigation, we had a car stop. $193,000 was recovered from one of the operators of one of these dens of iniquity. Okay? Money stuffed in cereal boxes, trash bags, and pillowcases. And what he told my deputies was, "Oh, I'm making a donation to the Catholic Church in Gaza." Now, my nose might be big and I might have a mustache. You think we swallowed that? No. So what we need to really do is line up behind this Senate Bill 1580. This is going to make it a felony. This is going to give the Attorney General to go after these gangs, because that's what they are, and charge them under RICO statute. So there's a real penalty for this. And lastly, my message for Volusia County is for you slumlords that rent these places out for these den of iniquity to rob from our people. We're going to start naming and shaming you as well, because there's a group of them in my county that are leasing 10, 20 of these buildings out that are wreaking havoc on our community.
All right, next we'll have Julie Brown, the commissioner, chairman of the Gaming Commission. I want to give her a big shout out, because standing up a new agency is not easy, but it's taken several years, and this agency is now ready for action, legitimate, and carrying, packing a heavy punch. And today is the first you're going to see on that. So thank you, Julie.
Thank you so much, and what an honor it is to be here to recognize the great work that our Gaming Commissioner officers have been doing, as well as our partners here. Grateful to have the sheriffs that are here today, as well as the sheriffs who we partner with in the Brevard, Volusia, Flagler, and Duval counties. More importantly, I want to thank Attorney General, who has made this a top priority issue for him. Even before he became Attorney General, he truly cares about combating illegal gambling, who preys on those who are most vulnerable in Florida. It is a true collaboration. We cannot do this without the help of all of our partners here, as well as the support of the Governor DeSantis, the legislature. We're doing so much, and I could tell you 2026 this year already has kicked off monumental efforts. I'm so proud of the work and furthering our mission to protect the integrity of legal gambling in the state of Florida. Illegal gambling does continue to evolve and morph, and we're seeing it more and more in our communities today. And strong enforcement is so critical. Our gaming operations have intensified against these shadow operations as we continue our efforts on the ground floor here, in the courts, as well as in the legislature, and hopeful that our bill does get past 1580. I want to thank the wonderful teamwork with all of you here today. I know that our partnership is going to continue to thrive over the next few years. I want to remind everybody that slot machines are illegal in these casinos. They're not tested. They're not regulated. They provide no consumer protections for the players. There's no assurance of fair play, equitable payout. Illegal gambling operations also evade taxes that are very important to our local communities and our state. As our commission continues to step up its fight against illegal gambling in Florida, we are going to continue increasing our efforts and attacking these sophisticated schemes that are occurring in our communities. If anybody has a concern about illegal gambling in your backyard, please do not hesitate to call the Florida Gambling Control Commission or contact us on our website at any time. I want to thank you again, Attorney General, sheriffs, all of our partners here for the great work we're doing, and as well as our staff so much. Thank you.
All right. Last but not least, we've got Mike Schell, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Chief of Homeland Security.
Thank you, Attorney General. So, as stated by those here before me, the success of this operation rests squarely on the collective partnerships that are here today. For the past several years since their creation, JSO's enjoyed a strong working relationship with the Florida Gaming Control Commission, as well as the Florida Division of Alcoholic Beverages of Tobacco, regularly engaging in enforcement action against these illegal gambling operations. Over the past 3 days, we worked with our partners at the Gaming Commission and DABT, taking enforcement action against 17 illegal gambling locations within Duval County. Those locations include restaurants, bars, convenience stores, and arcade centers, which are essentially strip mall casinos. These illegal gambling operations prey on some of the most vulnerable members of our society, the elderly and those on fixed income. Moreover, these operations historically draw violent crime and narcotics activity. I'm going to share just a few statistics from Duval County alone for these past 3 days. So this operation resulted in 5 felony arrests, 14 misdemeanor arrests, 112 gambling machines seized, more than $62,000 in funds associated with the illegal gambling seized, and 2 firearms seized. And again, that's just for Duval County. I want to thank the Attorney General and all of our partners up here for the leadership and support during this operation and over the past several years. Jacksonville couldn't do this on our own, and Jacksonville is a safer place because of these partnerships. Thank you, sir.
So for today, for these 40 operations, it's game over, but there's going to be more to come. They think they can hide in the back of restaurants, nail salons, fake sham arcades, behind blacked out windows. Some have been brazen, actually. Some literally said gaming inside. Those were easy. But to those that tried to pretend they were other legitimate businesses, nevertheless, we figured it out. So we will be out there, we will be investigating, we will be enforcing, and we will be prosecuting. So thank you. I think we had time for a few questions, if anybody has any.
Specific location. Can you give any details about how this got underway, who was arrested, what was going on here exactly?
Yeah, I'll start out, and then if anybody wants to add, we kind of zoned in on a region, and it's not that hard to identify several locations. So we started putting a list of locations together. This behind us is this warehouse space where we're storing these very large devices. Again, it's over 525 at this point, and I think a few more are still coming in. So we're going to be doing these stings, these sweeps across the state, other regions. I won't tell you where's next, but again, I wouldn't roll the dice if you're doing this illegal stuff at home.
So this wasn't one of the locations?
I don't believe this wasn't. No, this is just a storage site. You can look behind, see, and we just have some examples. But there's this one, and then there's another warehouse right next door, and they're lined from floor to ceiling all the way back.
And all the machines that here have been seized?
These have been seized as part of this operation spanning several counties, yes.
How many?
525, I think, is where we're at now, but we are still, this is concluding this morning, so that number might change a little bit.
And out of the
525 machines, yes.
and how many different businesses do you know?
About 40. It might be 39 or 40 at this point, and again, this is still concluding as we speak, so those numbers might shift a little bit. Don't give me a promotion. Yeah.
You mentioned criminal aliens a few times in this week's conference, and it begs the question, when will Floridians get paid back for alligator Alcatraz? You assured us that the federal government would pay for that. What's the price tag up to?
Yeah, I don't know the exact price tag that's run. Alligator Alcatraz is operated by the Division of Emergency Management. I have no reason to believe that the federal government is not going to reimburse. I know there's been expansive litigation that's bounced from trial court up to the appellate court. I do believe that the state, will largely be reimbursed for those costs, given that we were delegated by the federal government. It was approved. The president went down there for the grand opening. We were helping out as they were trying to get Congress to strike a deal and provide resources for this important mission. So I think the state's footing of the bill, in the long term, will go down as the feds take leadership in an area that is a federal responsibility. But we were happy to help. I know the media, tried to spin Alligator Alcatraz as closed. It never closed, not for a day. And I looked at a lot of the people that were detained there, and you got people that were wanted for murder, rape, abuse of children, some of the most heinous crimes. I wish that the media was focused more on the victims that suffered in some of the most horrific ways, rather than sitting there and crying for people that are not even American citizens, the people that elect our leaders to go out and fight the good fight. So we're working with the feds, and we'll get where we need to go.
Can someone, we got all the guys here who can answer this question. Can someone talk about the open carry at Bike Week?
Open carry at Bike Week? What do you guys
Main
want?
Street, I guess that'll be the.
I'll take these so they don't blow away here.
It's going to be a lot safer at Bike Week.
So what's your question about that?
Just what's your thoughts on open carry?
It's the law in the state of Florida. You have a right to open carry. So we are not anticipating any problems. I think we have enough resources between the cities, the county, the state, and in some cases we do have federal resources that will be in Volusia County working, especially with these organized motorcycle gangs that tend to want to wreak havoc in certain areas. But we're fairly comfortable with what's about to happen this weekend and the next 10 days.
Look, I'll say, the right to bear arms, it is just that. It is a right. It was put in our Constitution for a reason. Our founding fathers, they feared a tyrannical government, and they wanted to make sure that people had the ability to protect themselves if needed. So it is that a right. That said, we take law and order very seriously. If people abuse that right and they engage in criminal activity, if they use a weapon unnecessarily in a way that is threatening, harassing, incites violence or harm on others, we're going to go after them, and we're going to enforce the law.
Shifting gears a little bit, can you comment on the emergency rule for 708 ban and why our companies don't have that?
So the question's on the 708 emergency rule. You might remember several months ago, after we received reports from a large majority of the counties across the state that there was a new kratom extract, a chemically enhanced version of kratom that we identified in a lab was 10 to 13 times more potent than morphine. So we did something that's very rare. We issued an emergency rule rescheduling this to be an unlawful drug. At the end of the day, our kids are my number one priority. This stuff was on shelves in 7-Elevens and convenience stores at the fingertips of kids, and we saw ER rates going up. So that's where I do believe it's appropriate for government to step in and take action. We did so. The legislature has to ratify that rule, or it will no longer be in effect. I know they've been looking at it, and it's still under debate. These things get heavily lobbied as industry is powerful on many sides. So I hope that they will ratify it. I think our kids depend on them, the legislative leaders, to look out for our little ones. But if they don't do that, we continue to get more evidence and data that this is dangerous. And it's not, by the way, it's not just kratom. We see some very toxic hemp products that are out there. And I know Congress has already taken some action. We're looking to step in our office and crack down where you have dangerous products that are hurting our kids. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about it. The least says they're missing about $1 million when it comes to enforcement for ICE, and there's also, I guess, recouping, which is approximately $500,000. If we don't get that money back from the federal government, how do we want to recoup that money?
I have no reason to believe we're not going to be reimbursed by the federal government where we've carried out a federal mission that's been approved by them. I'm not sure exactly what FDLE still needs. I do know that our immigration board that was created over a year ago at the state level handed out tens of millions of dollars just this last couple weeks, trying to get our sheriffs and local law enforcement paid back for them stepping up and taking on a heightened burden to protect our state and enforce against illegal immigrants. Look, it's important. Not everybody's malicious. No, I get it. But when we do these child predator takedowns, we're not looking for illegal aliens. We're looking for anybody that's online trying to go sleep with a little girl. And every time we end up with 15-20% or more illegal aliens that end up in these sweeps. Again, we're not going looking for illegal aliens. We're looking for child predators. But that ratio, I think, shows how disproportionately high the crime was coming in over the southern border, tied in with large-scale drug and human trafficking. So thank God President Trump and his team shut down the border for once and for all. We still have a lot of crime to fight here in Florida, but we got the best dang team in the country when it comes to law and order. So happy to be a part of it. Yeah, please, go ahead.
So to the General's point, yesterday our Chief Financial Officer, Blazing Golia, was here reimbursing our agency for, I want to say it was $557,000 that we've worked on the 287G product. But here's the point of that. And doing stupid shit has a price tag. And the previous administration allowed them to come into our country by the millions. And so there's going to be a price tag for getting them out of the country. The price tag of law enforcement having to do the work that should have never had to be done, because if we'd have had a secure border, we wouldn't have this problem. The price tag of flying them out of the country, the price tag of maintaining them in prisons and everything else. So when we start looking at why are we having to pay this money, that price tag is associated with those that let them come across the border illegally. And now Florida citizens and the country are having to pay the price for stupid stuff. So that's why. But I attest with the General. Our federal government's been great at reimbursing us. Our state's been great at reimbursing us. And our citizens here in Brevard County, and I'm sure I speak for all of the sheriffs, love the fact that we're enforcing the law. And there is no price for freedom. I mean, when you talk about safety, when you talk about citizens that are being sexually molested, children being trafficked, all of the other crimes that go with that, what we're looking at is paying the price for keeping our citizens safe, and I'll pay that every day. All right?
Sheriff, I can real quick one more. Since we're in Brevard County and talking about this gambling operation, if you could just kind of detail how many of these were busted in Brevard County in this operation, and also if there's any that stick out, any particular story that sticks out from these.
Yeah. So, Chief, do we have an exact number of how many we had here this time in Brevard?
So over the last 3 days, we targeted 17 locations that were. Over the last 3 days, we targeted 17 locations that were participating in these gaming machines. We also executed a search warrant at one particular location, which was one of the strip mall arcades. Again, with our gaming commission partners, we were very successful in addressing those. But this is an ongoing effort here in Brevard County. You know, and something to echo that has been said from prior speakers as well is every week we get letters from family members talking about how their loved ones are losing thousands of dollars. And when we go in and we examine these machines, we find out that many of them are even set to not even pay out. There is no chance that you can even win playing these particular machines because they are unregulated. So that's theft, that's cheating, that's whatever you would like to call it. These individuals that are coming there believing that they're going there to win stand no chance when they walk through the door. They are being preyed upon by the people that operate these locations.
Those 17 locations, you know how many people were arrested?
So at each of the locations where we seized the machines, I believe that arrests were made, court dates were issued, because again, those were misdemeanor charges. So those individuals, at least for the laws that are on the books today, will have to face the charges in front of a court of law.
Just for our if there was like a location where we can go and get like video.
We'll get with the Game Commission, make sure we can do that. But I don't have a problem with that if we can. And to the Chief's point and to the General's point, these games are rigged. All right. When you see the volume of money that we're taking in from them, they're not paying out that equal amount. So to put it in terms that everybody can understand, you got a better chance of beating me in a pie eating contest than you do of winning one of these games. So when you look at it, it's rigged for them to make money from it. And if some of you remember, I'm going to say 3 months ago, we did an operation here in partnership with the Gaming Commission where we took construction equipment and crushed about this same amount of machines that's behind me. Did it live on our Facebook feed, and here we are again seizing these machines. So it's obviously a very lucrative business for them to do.
And what do you guys do with the cash?
General, you want to respond to that?
Well, there are various avenues that cash goes. A lot of it, we get back to the taxpayers and law enforcement agencies. So it varies. I do want to say something, and then we'll wrap up. On the topic of reimbursement, I got to give a testament to Governor DeSantis. He set up our economy in a way where we've got the largest surplus we've ever had in history. And he did so that when we are facing disasters, when we are facing serious challenges, we don't have to wait on the feds. Even if it's an area where reimbursement might be coming, we're going to go and we're going to put money on the problem and protect our families and citizens. So hurricanes, we go, he's, under his leadership, we build bridges in days. We get lights on in record time. And we throw money at the problem in a responsible way. We fix the problem, and then as reimbursement is provided, in the year or more that follows, we get made whole where appropriate. But we're not going to sit back and watch our communities suffer while we're going through the administrative process of dealing with the federal government. We're going to get the job done, and we've got the financial resources to do it in the short run because we've got the best run economy in the country. All right, thanks everybody.
Appreciate you guys.
Good job, guys.